How WrestleMania matches should go. This is how they should happen, according to me. These are not predictions. Well, hopefully, these are spoilers. We're starting off with night 1. The first match listed is the War Raiders versus the New Day. And honestly, the only thing I can say about this match is the New Day should win. That's it. The second one, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. And this match, this is how it should go. During the match with Dragon Lee, while his mask came off, things that people miss, one of those things is that Dragon Lee actually tried to unmask El Grande Americano first. It's just that El Grande Americano took Dragon's mask off and then pinned him. Since they're both luchadors, well, one of them is Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio should in fact unmask El Grande Americano, who should grab a towel, put it over his head, and run away, leaving Rey frustrated in the ring to win by a count-out victory. And then El Grande Americano, whose face has not been exposed as Chad Gable, comes on Raw the next Monday and just accuses Rey of being a hypocrite. And their feud continues. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. That's the third match on the card. And I really have no thoughts about this match. I've never really seen Jade's previous matches before she showed up in the WWE. Her matches in the WWE have her just been... She shows up, she beats a couple of people up. She only has like 2 moves and then she does the implant buster or whatever she calls it. But it's the implant buster. And Naomi is going to have to do much of the work of trying to make Jade look good. But will Jade really be able to make Naomi look good in that match equally? I don't think so. Of course, the winner should be Jade Cargill. Now, we got some, well, hot takes as people like to call them. LA Knight puts his title against Jacob Fatu. And the way Jacob's been built, and this might come up again, but a recent, well not recent, I watched it recently again, an interview of John Cena discussing his match where they established Suplex City with Brock Lesnar coming off defeating The Undertaker was it cannot be a 50-50 match. John needs to be squashed, and that's what they did. And this is what needs to happen. Jacob needs to squash LA Knight. He just came off a number 1 contenders match against Braun Strowman. People tend to forget, but Braun Strowman is the same guy that a couple of years back, or 4 or 6 years maybe, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley, these 3 men had to form a faction just so they could beat Braun Strowman, because neither of these men could do it on their own. Braun Strowman was such a threat that Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew fucking McIntyre had to form a faction. And that Braun Strowman has now been ragdolled over and over by Jacob Fatu. So Jacob needs to go in and completely decimate LA Knight. He doesn't get to throw off any of his moves, point at the people. No, the match is just an absolute crushing defeat. And that is the only way it makes sense. Jacob needs to squash LA Knight. Then we get to this Women's Championship match with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. And yes, Charlotte got trolled by her 3 divorces. But is Tiffy gonna win at WrestleMania? No. And she shouldn't. Because the moment she wins, WWE fans, you, me, will turn on Tiffany. And she's not going to be able to roll with that. People already hate Charlotte. Just give them a reason to hate her more. Well, people, I don't. Charlotte, by the way, is the same person who made Asuka tap out and broke her undefeated streak when she won the Royal Rumble. That happened ages ago, but that's the same person. Charlotte's in it for herself, and she needs to beat Tiffany. Tiffany needs to tap out. And she should start early in the match. Just go after Tiffany's knees. Just hit her with a chop block. And a foot DDT. And a knee stomp. Just focus on her legs. Tiffany can't get any of her acrobatics or gymnastics off with a bum knee. Lock in the figure eight. And tap her out. And then we get to the what would have been the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's just Jay Uso versus Gunther, and somehow this time Jay Uso needs to win. I really don't have any particular thoughts about this one either, because half of the matches I'm not that invested, they're kinda boring, and half I am. This is one of those that I'm not. As long as Jay wins, it's Heat Mania. Good enough. And then comes the best match of the night. The main event. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. And this is going to be a fantastic match. It is a triple threat, which means no disqualification. And I don't know, the way this should end up is that Paul Heyman is in CM Punk's corner. That means Paul Heyman does everything he can to get the guy he's in the corner of win the match. And he was in Roman Reigns' corner. Roman Reigns, for his 1400-day reign, every time he defended the title, he had the bloodline come out and help him. There's no bloodline this time. And there is no Paul Heyman for Roman Reigns. But Paul Heyman is in CM Punk's corner. And the advantage CM Punk has is a man that is missing when you take the names of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns together. The greatest rival, perhaps. And a man missing from Roman Reigns' match last year, a spot that was obviously his, that for some reason was handed at the last minute, as it seemed, to The Undertaker, who came out and chokeslammed The Rock. That man, you know who I'm talking about. The same guy who went off script and shook Cody Rhodes' hands. He should have been the one that come out and helped Cody Rhodes. He didn't. The original Paul Heyman guy. By the end of the night, all three men are tired. They're all beaten down. Brock Lesnar's music hit. He runs down. He F5s Roman Reigns. He German suplexes Seth Rollins. He grabs Roman again. German suplexes him. F5s him again. Grabs Seth Rollins. F5s him again. And then he drags Seth Rollins on top of Roman Reigns and just reckons CM Punk to take his place and cover them both, just like Roman Reigns stacked and racked Edge and Daniel Bryan. Brock Lesnar comes in and CM Punk pins both of them. And that is how night one of WrestleMania ends. And now we move on to night two, with the women's tag team titles being defended, and this was a disaster. They took a team of people who've never tagged together, Bayley and Lyra, and they put them in a gauntlet, and they buried the entire women's tag division, with the entire women's tag division eating loss after loss to Bayley and Lyra. That was complete bullshit. And it seems predictable that Bayley and Lyra might win. They want to push this Lyra a lot, and it is crap. For some reason, that is what happens. But what I want to see happen is, well, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez obviously retain their titles. Whether Judgment Day helps them or they just do it on their own, I don't care if Lyra gets pinned or Bailey gets pinned. They're probably not going to give Raquel the pinfall victory. So, Liv pins either of these two and they retain the title. Next, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And doesn't matter who wins because this match is for us. We watch this match and we have a great time. And whoever wins this match, I don't know if they try to pull something out of it, like, oh, I beat this guy at Wrestlemania, so I need a title shot. Logan Paul's probably going to go away and come back a month before SummerSlam to get a match there. He just shows up for those big four events, it seems, and that is fine. He wins. He shows up, says, hey, I beat AJ Styles, give me a title match. Or if AJ wins, he can somehow get into the title picture. But that match is just a treat for us. And then we have Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. And this is how that match should end. They somehow get Braun Breaker outside the ring, throw him through the barricade or the new reinforced desk that they have instead of the tables that used to break all the time. They somehow are able to get Braun under that desk, keel that desk over, and just make him a non-issue because he needs to be out. He needs to lose the title, obviously, but not by being pinned. The person that should be pinned is Penta. Somehow you get a drop kick. Penta goes into the turnbuckle. That's how Finn does it. Goes up to the top rope and hits Penta with the coup de grace. And then Dominic shows up, shoves Finn out, pins Penta, or after the coup de grace, Finn goes for the pin. Dominic's already set up a frog splash. He comes down while the pin is happening on top of Balor. And then he just throws Balor out and pins Penta. The thing is, Finn is on top. So rolling him over, throwing Penta out and pinning Finn to break the Judgment Day up is a little too far-fetched. Finn, who's about to get the pin, needs to get thrown out of the ring by Dominic, who pins Penta, becomes the new champion, his first singles title, I think, and leaves Finn frustrated at the fact that he was not involved in the decision, just like Braun was outside. Finn, who set up the victory for himself, got thrown out, and Dominic got the win instead. And that leads us to the breaking up of the Judgment Day, and Dominic and Finn Balor fighting each other. That's how it should go. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. It's a no disqualification match, and it doesn't matter how. Drew McIntyre needs to win. All I can say about that is this is also a fun match for us, but Drew needs this win. They've had him eat loss after loss to a lot of people, and it felt justified then. Like, yeah, fine, CM Punk beat Drew McIntyre, but yeah, Damian needs to lose this because, well, you got nowhere to go when you give Damian the win and Drew loses. Everyone loses team, and when I say everyone loses, we, the audience, also lose. So Drew needs to win. That's it. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Somehow shoehorned Rhea into a triple threat, and Bianca flipped and just a week later was like, I'm fine with that now. The week before that, she was crying and whining and moaning about how it was going to turn into a triple threat. And Io Sky got a promo last week in Japanese. You had to read the subtitles, and she was like, you're overlooking me. And then they said, we are not overlooking you, you're the champion, but they are overlooking her. And the person who needs to win this title match is Io Sky. she needs to somehow retain her title. Doesn't matter how. Well, Bianca's setting up Hurricane Rana on the turnbuckle, or a middle rope Hurricane Rana, or Rhea's got Bianca in a riptide, and Io just hits them in the back of the head with the enziguri, goes up for her moonsault, and gets a pin on either one of them, and retains her title. And then we come to the real main event. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And y'all thought you was getting Cody Lander, you got Injustice Superman Cena. And like I talked about this John Cena match with Brock Lesnar, or the Jacob Fatu match, this needs to be a squash. But not just any squash. This needs to be a rerun of Brock versus Cena. But we make it worse. I mean, John Cena is supposed to be one of those 5 moves of doom, right? He does his moves, then he came up with the 5th move because he only had 4 of them. And was like some lame punch. How do you make it worse, but also just so great that everyone watching turns on Cena every single time it happens? John Cena starts the match off with an attitude adjustment, goes for a pin immediately. 0 count. Cody kicks out. John goes for a second one. Another pin attempt. Cody kicks out. He doesn't even sell those attitude adjustments. He has a smirk on his face. Ask John if he's really doing that. He gets a couple of shots in. John might get a couple of kicks and punches in, but John Cena does nothing. No running off the ropes, no shoulder tackles, no 5-knuckle shuffle. Just like Brock Lesnar hit him with German suplex after German suplex after German suplex to end the deal with an F5. John Cena, now that he's a heel, all he does throughout the entire match is hit Cody Rhodes over and over again with the attitude adjustment. From the first move to the last, all he does is attitude adjustment after attitude adjustment. It's the year 2025, so he can hit Cody with 25 attitude adjustments, or even better, drag it out. It's WrestleMania 41. 16 German suplexes and a F5? Now, 41 attitude adjustments to Cody Rhodes. That is the only thing John Cena does, is he hits Cody Rhodes over and over again with attitude adjustments and tries to pin him till Cody finally passes out. That's it. Cody is not even able to stand. The last 3 or 4 of them, Cody just barely scrapes by the skin of his teeth and keeps kicking out. And all John Cena does is pick him up and hit him with another attitude adjustment. And if you really want to stick it in to how horrible that is, John Cena decides he's done with the attitude adjustments because he wants to use the attitude adjustment, because there's 2 of them, right? One of them is the FU, that's now called the attitude adjustment, and the other one's also called the attitude adjustment, the STFU. He just logs that in at the end. After half an hour of just hitting Cody Rhodes with attitude adjustments, he locks in his submission, chokes him out. Cody can have his hand raised a couple of times. It almost touches the mat, but Cody somehow powers out. But he's so tired he can't get John off his back. And John just keeps the hold in, gnashing his teeth and widening his eyes and looking like he's trying to choke the life out of Cody Rhodes, because that's what he does. And the referee just picks Cody's hands up and lets them drop a couple of times. Cody has some life left. And then nothing happens. And the referee tries it again. But this time, the 3rd time, Cody's hand limply falls down to the mat. and Cody Rhodes loses, and we have John Cena, the 17-time world champion.